Halloween.
Forever.
Good evening, Stephen. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Brian. How are you?
I'm here, starting another year. I woke up and got to figure it out. So that's where we're fucking at currently. But I'm enthused to get back in the studio, do a little bit more live recording after our little kind of semi time off here. But you know what, Stephen, I do have one for you. Are you willing to have one?
I'm willing to attempt one.
All right. So this little kid asked her mom, said, hey, Mom, how was I born? How did I come to be? And the mother, she was all misty eyed, kind of smiled and said, once upon a time, a long time ago, your daddy and I decided we were going to plant this little wonderful seed, right? And Daddy put it in the earth. And I took care of it every single day. And this little seed grew, more and more leaves. And in a few months, it turned into a beautiful, healthy plant. So we took that plant and we dried it and we smoked it and we got so high we fucked without a condom. Welcome, boils and ghouls, to a New Year, New Me Mommy episode of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
I'm Steve.
And you might be asking yourself, wait, why aren't we doing a showdown? Well, hold your fucking horses. We'll explain. The holidays. We just came off of our little, break where Steve and I do some independent recordings, and we got a lot of things to do and people to see and places to go and that sort of stuff. So we long story short, we don't have a guest for this week, so we said, let's push the showdown to next week. So we're going to do a little mini-sode to kick off, just ease into the year. Let's not go crazy. We're going to ease into our first Monday of the new year with a nice pleasant little mini-sode. And in fact, we're going to talk about a movie that was suggested to us by one of our patrons. I don't know which patron suggested this fucking abomination.
This comes to us from our patron James, who is in the chat now.
James is in the chat. He's here to fess up for his sins. He suggested to us a movie which I had seen before, but I'll be honest with you, did not remember the ending, and it goes batshit in a fun way. We're going to talk about a little flicky from the year of our Lord, 1990. We're going to talk about The Suckling, which is one of the best titles of I'm just going to call this an 80s schlock monster movie, even though it was released in 1990. Nothing about it feels 90s. It feels very 80s.
It's also supposedly occurring in 1973.
That's true, too. But it also looks like it might have been shot in the late 70s, not in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Very, very low budget. I'm interested to learn what your thoughts are about this movie, because certain things don't add up.
Sure.
And you might have done more research than me, but we'll see. We got a couple of things we got to do at the top of the show before we start suckling. But Steven, are you slurping and suckling on a little wet one over there that you want to talk about?
I am indeed slurping on a wet one.
I saw it before we started. It looked alarmingly palatable.
Yeah, I mean, you may find it palatable, but then you may also just get angry very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting a new year, new me, and I'm swearing off this gloop glop, turning it off.
I don't believe you.
That's cool. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you're suspect. But coming to us, I believe one of the last beers I had was, a birthday beer sour ice cream banana from Abjuration Brewing. And I felt it only right that I give them a little bit of redemption. Okay. With this beer. It is their oat lager, coming in at a 4.3%.
Okay, that's pretty pretty palatable for
Yeah.
Steven. He held it up. I looked at it. I said, that looks like just looks like kind of a regular beer, but it's probably some, aged on, durian and like, mouse traps or some shit like that. But an oat lager. So it has a little bit of a fuller, more kind of a lush, fluffy, dare I say, pillowy body over there. Is that what we're experiencing?
That's what I'm experiencing. It also did have a little bit of less effervescence, not like a real strong head. So, yeah, that did dissipate pretty quickly. But, yeah, it is really full. It has a great aftertaste to it, too.
Yeah.
It just has like that full kind of cream ale aftertaste on the back. So
sure. Little graininess.
Yeah. I enjoy it. And
Okay.
That's the best I can do for you.
I didn't know that they made beers like that over there. So that's
oh yeah, they have plenty. They actually make probably one of the best amber ales.
No shit.
Yeah. I don't know if it's on tap right now, but they do make one of the best amber ales in Western PA.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I always hear, obviously they're right up the road from you, and I always hear you talking about their gloop and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Love the gloop.
All right. Well, I'm back right. Didn't take a break. Went straight into my bullshit here. I'm currently, for those of you who keep track of what I'm watching, in the background here, I am watching a movie from, I think, 1987 called Robot Holocaust. That is what's currently on in the background right now. I don't know if you're familiar with that little gem. And I'm drinking some lager beer. I'm drinking, look how pristine, clear. You can read the screen through it. This is a beer that I don't know if I've had this on the show. I've certainly featured this brewery from our friends at Burgers Brewing here in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They're 1890 lager, which is their kind of pre-prohibition style American lager beer. Just a nice little easy sipper. I got a 4-pack of this. Stopped by on my way home from running some errands yesterday. I got one of this. And then my mother-in-law, it was her birthday yesterday. We hosted a little birthday party for her. She turned 67, which is an unfortunate age to turn right now with all the kids and the 6-7s. And I have two, kids who, were obviously very in the perfect age, range for the phenomenon that is 6-7. But we thought it was funny and a little bit of a jab at her because she is a smoker and we give her a lot of crap for being a smoker because she's in her 60s and it's obviously not good for you. Right. But we decided to have a Sig 7 birthday party. So it was a cigarette themed birthday party, which is a little dark. We made like a little like pretzel rods dipped in white chocolate with like a little ash and made them look like cigarettes, things like that. So it was a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing. But I also went and bought a bunch of Smoke Control, which is the smoked Helles from Burgers Brewing. Mostly for myself, because not many people are going to go reach it, but it felt like it was good for the theme. But I also grabbed a 4-pack of the 1890 while I was there. So
should have got your mom like a Zin cake, like it's just a bunch of Zin tins, but put some frosting around it, make it look like a Zin cake, and then she opens up, she goes, "Oh, all my nicotine, hooray!"
Yeah. We did her her favorites, which I made caprese sandwiches, sandwiches, with the fresh basil and the tomato and the fresh mutz and a bunch of chicken caprese sandwiches. She likes that. And then we got her other favorite, which was a bunch of Eaton Park chicken noodle soup, which is her favorite. So went and got a bunch of Eaton Park chicken noodle soup. So it was a real it was in the immortal words of Charlie Bucket's mom, we had a real banquet. And instead of cabbage water, it was chicken noodle soup from Eaton Park. But yeah, just sipping on this little crispy boy over here, watching some Robot Holocaust. I feel like we're catching up. Steve and I have not talked aside from text messages here in a few weeks, and our cursed Instagram feed, and we have a absolute, which between you, myself, you have a group of friends you share Instagram things with, right? I've got you, my brother, my friend Adam, my friend Tom. You know, those are like the main people I send horrible things on the internet to. And I like to find something horrible and then go through that list of, 4 or 5 people and go, who would appreciate this the most? Okay, this is a Steve post. Yeah. This is a Tom post, and then send it. And my cousin and his fiance were over, and we were having some beers, and we were showing, my brother and I were showing him some, because he's not on the Instagrams. He's not on any social medias really. And we were showing him some of the cursed shit that we find on there. And it just like reminded me of how diseased my brain and my feet are, because he was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, that's pretty mild what I'm showing you right now.
Yeah, it's always bad when you show somebody something mild and they're like, what is, and I was like, oh no, that's not even that's just the stuff I'm willing to share. Yeah, my brother and I, some of the shit that we send each other, and frankly some of the stuff you and I send each other will be studied by science someday, I would imagine. But you watch anything good? Any good holiday horror? What were you kind of watching over the holidays? Over the holidays, I was getting caught up on a lot of stuff. And like getting caught up on like end of the year, best of the year type shit.
Yeah, I did a little bit of that.
Yeah, so like I watched Begonia because we had talked about Save the Green Planet last year. And so, like, I finally got a chance to watch Begonia. It's I recommend it, but I still think Save the Green Planet's better.
Yeah.
What else would I watch? Oh, I watched, there's a series of movies called Baby Assassins. And dude, these movies fucking rip. I love them now. Baby
Assassins. Okay. Yeah, I'm on board.
They're, all 3 films are on Plex, so they're all free. But it's a series of Japanese films, and it's about like 2 high schoolers who become hitmen, instead of going to college. And the choreography in these films are fucking amazing. Like, I'm not going to say better than John Wick, but they are John Wick level. But when they're not fighting, it's kind of like watching Clerks. Because it's just 2 high school girls just doing lazy slack ass shit. Like they're all just like
mumblecore and then take a break and murder people.
Yeah. It's exactly that. So like those movies fucking rip. I love them. So yeah, I watched all 3 of those because I just got hooked. Like the first one is very much just like Clerks and John Wick, fighting for attention. But yeah, the choreography, like I think all of those movies spend a good half hour on their final fights. So it's just, they're like 90-minute films, and then they're like, yeah, let's do a half-hour fight scene. It's like, fuck yeah, dude, go for it.
Nice. Yeah, all right. You know what, we weren't too far off. I was watching a lot of, I didn't watch as much Christmas themed horror this year. I don't know why. I kind of struggled to get into the holiday spirit this year. I watched, the classics, holiday movies and stuff like that, but I think I spaced those out. But I just kept watching the same ones. I watched Home Alone and Home Alone 2 like 4 times each. Oh, yeah. I watched Muppet Christmas Carol like 5 times. I mean, that's kind of an every year thing for me. But I didn't watch a ton of holiday horror. I watched some, but I was deep into, 2 things that took away from my normal holiday horror watching. One is I finally got the sequel to Hollow Knight, Silk Song.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was obsessed with Hollow Knight when it came out. And we've talked about this. I can't play video games because I have a problem with becoming obsessed with them, and then just hours melt away. And I have, children and things like that. Right. So I finally broke down, though. I took some time off work and bought Silk Song. And just, melted many, many hours into Silk Song. I love a Metroidvania, and went down that path quite a bit. And then I watched a bunch of Japanese period dramas, basically. Sick. For whatever reason. I watched like, you know, like Lady Snowblood and the like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
kind of down that path, some samurai stuff, you know, some vengeful murdered wife ghost stuff. You know, a lot of that type of vibe. So that was kind of where I was going. And then I caught up on some of the, actually, weirdly enough, I caught up on, I didn't watch Begonia yet, but I watched some of the, you know, stuff coming towards the end of the year. And then I watched, finally, like, paid attention to and watched Saltburn, which I know is from 2023. And was your impression that people really hated that movie?
My impression, I never watched it, but I got the impression online that people were just kind of like dunking on it for the one scene where the kid fucking, I guess he laps up cum out of a bathtub is what it was.
He does do that. Yeah, sure does.
Yeah. I just got the impression people were dunking on it for that. So yeah, well, I don't know if people liked it or not.
Well, and I just noticed, hello, Kelly from our Final Girls podcast, our wonderful friend and recent guest this year joining us in the Discord, and she said she's obsessed with it. I heard terrible things about it. Again, Steve, mostly people like dunking on it. Mm-hmm. And I watched it. I was like, this isn't bad. What's wrong? There's nothing wrong with this movie. Here's what I think is it got critically like panned because structurally it's kind of a fucking mess. And the main character, like, you're not really sure what you're supposed to think about him. But for people like us who watch questionable movies all the time, fucked up broken movies. Yeah, broken movies.
Like tonight's film. Nobody's likable except for one person.
No, and barely. But this I was like, this is not a bad movie at all. I thought it was decidedly watchable. Kept my attention the whole time. There was a couple of annoying characters. It was weird. It was melodramatic. It was over the top. I thought it was so fun. But yeah, Kelly said she's obsessed with it, and she said you either love it or hate it. And I get the feeling she's currently typing a dissertation in the chat. So we'll follow up with it because I've just seen the typing thing going for like 20 minutes. She's going to post a link to her dissertation. But like, I want to talk about it because I'm genuinely confused about why people hate it so much. Is it because it's just like, I feel like people who are our age because it was set in like the early 2000s, right? I feel like people who, it's like how people 20 some years ago felt about 80s movies set in the 80s, like it was cringy.
Yeah, maybe.
And then maybe that's why people were, I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was, I was like, oh, that was fun. I liked it. And it was wacky shit. Yeah, sucking cum out of drains and like fucking a grave site, you know, shit like that. You're like, what?
Yeah, that was the other thing, because I had both of those moments spoiled for me, and so I kind of understand the whole movie. And the way I took it was that this movie was like a lot more of a sex-fueled, talented Mr. Ripley. And so,
okay, everybody was talking about his talented Mr. Ripley, which I get. I said it was, as I was finishing it up, or it wasn't even over yet, and I said, this is The Great Gatsby meets Cruel Intentions.
Okay, sure.
That's all.
Yeah. See, I just took it as a more sleazy version of all those things. And I was like, sure. Okay, I kind of get it, and I've had the ending spoiled for me, so I just never watched it because of those reasons. Like, I got other things to get. I got 3 Baby Assassins movies to watch. I haven't got time for all this.
I ain't got time for all this shit.
I don't know how those movies go. I know how this movie goes.
Yeah, it was weird. I watched that movie in my like catching up with all the stuff from I still have to watch Begonia. I'm like halfway through A Desert. Did you watch that one?
No.
Real about the photographer.
No, I didn't see that one.
Through that. Really liking that one early on, but there's a lot left. Anyway, and in catching up with all those things, I was like, hey, Saltburn, damn, I never really I kind of half watched that. Let me watch it again.
I got one movie left kind of on my hit list of like 2025 that I haven't seen, and I just don't know where to find it at the moment. But Chan-wook Park has that new film out called No Other Choice. And,
Yep.
we talked about Thirst last year, obviously, but like, I was telling you about Decision to Leave being like such an amazing build off of Thirst. And I'm just wondering, like, I hear like this movie's very funny, but also, it has a lot of crime elements to it, which was like which was Decision to Leave. So it's like, I really want to see that. Other than that,
it looks like it's starting to hit like theaters around us.
Yeah.
Like within the coming couple of weeks, it looks like it's at like Robinson and yeah.
I gotta see maybe, and this is just a callback to the Abjuration, because they share that space with the Parkway Theater. Parkway Theater seems like a perfect place that would pick that up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta check to see if they have it coming soon. And I'll go down and I'll have some gloop glops. No, I won't. New year, new me. But I will.
Yeah, right. I don't believe you.
I will.
If they do, tell me. I'll come down and watch it with you because I do want to see that. That's on my to watch list when it pops up somewhere. All right. Speaking of New Year, we got a showdown, like I said, which normally would be this week. We're pushing it to next week. And just a reminder, the topic, Neo monster flick. Steve, I know we're in figuring out the guest situation here. Do you want to talk about movies? How do you want to approach this?
Yeah, we can talk about movies.
Okay.
If you have one, we can get into it. If you want to, just define it a little further, we can do that too. Because I know usually we give our guests first choice. So
yeah, I have a movie, and it's a movie that I'd be very surprised to learn that anybody else was picking. So I feel okay about at least what my movie's supposed to be.
Okay.
Or what I would prefer for it to be. But Neo monster flicks, just to define, we're basically talking like new age monsters, non-classic monster archetypes. So, we're not going to talk about a standard werewolf or a dang old Frankenstein or a Dracula, right? We're not talking about that type of stuff. We're talking about something that's a little new, a little weird. We talked about It Follows being a great example of that. Perhaps a Babadook, would come up on a list like that. Now, it doesn't have to be a brand new movie, but it's not a traditional monster archetype like a vampire or a werewolf or a big old kaiju or something like that. I guess a kaiju could potentially play out like that. Yeah. We talked about when we've done this movie before, so it's not on the list, but The Host,
right?
One of our collective favorites. That would be considered a kind of a kaiju. It's a not so giant, but it is a big old monster, and that would be a Neo. I would say that's definitely a Neo monster.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think you can, touch on kaiju. Like I kind of defined it for myself as pretty much anything past the 60s, and then because then you can get into like new forms. Like, okay, I believe the monster we're talking about tonight is a Neo monster because
definitely
it combines an element we've never really seen because of taste of an aborted fetus. And that's one element. But then the second element is toxic waste, which was a very big thing in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like everything was toxic waste and everything mutated. So I think both of those elements are kind of Neo, storytelling elements, but then you combine them together and you get a brand new Neo monster of this fucking thing.
Yeah. Big old teeth. Now, would you say this movie, The Suckling, is better than The Host?
No.
Okay, good. That was a joke. For those of you who've seen this movie, that's clearly a joke. So do you want me to tell you what my pick is? I've landed on a pick that I feel strongly about. I don't think anybody else is going to go for it. This is a movie that I've been frankly trying to squeeze onto the show for a long time and just haven't had the topic come up or the scenario to come up. And this might be Kiss of Death. I do not care. We've been doing this podcast too long for me to have not talked about this movie as much as I've probably mentioned it plenty of times, but I'm going to talk about the 1988 classic from one of my absolute favorite directors, the great Frank Henenlotter. I'm talking about Brain Damage.
Okay. Yep.
So if you guys are familiar with brain damage, there is a very famous monster. He's a well, I guess a giant super intelligent space parasite, I think is probably the best way to put it, named Almer, who is in my mind one of the most iconic monsters in history. I love this movie so much. Along with films like Pieces and some other, like this is one of those movies I will always suggest to people, and I'm constantly shocked by the number of people who have not seen Frank Henenlotter's Brain Damage from '88. So that's going to be my pick.
Okay, doke. Yeah, I think that fits all the criteria. That's kind of along the lines of what I was thinking. I was thinking of like other stuff like that. I have been wavering a lot between like Mimic and The Relic, but just because I do like those movies from the 90s, I haven't settled on any of them though, so I just can't commit myself. And because I'm champ, because I'm still champ. In case anybody forgot, I'm still champ. I'm gonna wait for our guest pick whenever that.
Okay.
Whether that is an actual guest or our patrons, so we'll see.
Well, this only gives our audience more time to go out, preferably do multiple rewatches of Brain Damage, and learn to love it in the same way that I have. So, all right, that will be next week as we discuss Neo monsters in our January Showdown episode. Also, Steven, why don't you tell the boils and ghouls at home what we got going on over on the Patreon, because it's getting real exciting over there.
Yeah, so jump on patreon.com/Halloween is forever and pay us $5, and guess what? You get a whole bunch of stuff.
So much stuff. So much.
Oh, so much. You're going to get reviews and recos. I do write-ups all the time. I have a bunch of other movies that we didn't talk about at the top of this that I'm saving for that, but I'll write them up about you. You'll get to read those. I'll write up maybe a little bit more about Baby Assassins. And then you get to jump on the Discord and you can watch episodes happen live. We have a pretty full house tonight with, like we said, we have James, who suggested this movie. We got Dan, who's always here with us. And we have Kelly from the Final Girls checking it out, telling us about how Saltburn rules and how you have to love it. And it must be part of your watching. So you get to interact with all of us. You hang out in the chat, see what's happening. And then on top of all of that, you can get an exclusive monthly podcast. We've already wrapped up 3 series at this point. I'm not even going to talk about them. I want you to just discover them. We just have 3 series, magical series for you to discover. It's probably like, I don't know, 60 hours worth of podcast. That's deep.
Oh, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's behind a paywall. You find it. You figure it out.
Figure it out. $5.
Yeah, $5. But I do want to promote the new one because we have a brand new series starting in January. And it's called God is Not Forever. And I forget the semicolon. It's semicolon.
Oh, it's God is Not Forever, colon, a roadmap to killing God's dumb ass.
Thank you.
Yes. So this is it's my turn. So you shut your goddamn mouth.
I'm just saying I haven't done the promo. Turn. I haven't done the promo art yet, so I haven't committed the colon part to memory yet.
Yeah, that's true. So Steve made me watch all these horrifyingly stupid 90s comedy movies that may or may not have horror ties to them. So, instead of going back and just, doing our old, like we're like two brothers in the back of the station wagon slapping at each other, I said, you know what? I'm going to do I'm going to, volunteer my time for something that is good for everyone, right? Which is, if there is a God, we should all rally together and try to kill him. How good? I mean, come on, guys. I'm sick of taking his shit. Okay. So, we're going to figure out through the majesty of film, how we are going to, figure out his vulnerabilities, right? Perhaps, we could. Kelly just said, I think we're in God's womb, which Final Flash taught us anything, that is probably true. We're going to figure out his insecurities. We're going to figure out his weaknesses. We're going to figure out perhaps some loopholes so we can get after his ass. I've had this as a New Year's resolution for the last at least 3 years, which is to kill God. I have not been successful yet. So I'm going to do a deep dive, introspective, via film on how perhaps we could do that. The first movie we're going to talk about is a movie from 1980 called Altered States, which is, if you're familiar with that, it's a little bit about like manipulating reality and things like that, and the origins of humans and all that sort of stuff. So I think that might be a good level set for what we're dealing with, what, opportunities we have to manipulate some of the variables, and ultimately just take him down if we can.
Get his ass.
So yeah, if you want to come along on that ride, that 10-month ride with us, and also get all of our back episodes too, our various Patreon exclusive podcasts where we make each other watch dumb movies, go over patreon.com/Halloween's Forever. Give us $5 a month. Okay. Steven, anything else before we get into The Suckling?
Nope. I'm ready to talk about this movie because there's a lot of fun little things hidden in a bad, shitty movie.
There is. It is a bad movie. It's kind of fun. I would say more than kinda. I had fun with it. There's some downtime in it, but there are some wild things, and it takes a wild turn at the end, which I really appreciate. And also just it's a mean movie. This is a mean, bad movie. Not bad in a. It is bad. It's very low budget.
Yeah, no, it's
bad acting.
Not well made. It's
poorly made.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of movies that we like. I mean bad in like a bad kids smoking cigs under the bridge kind of thing. You know what I mean?
There's it's a lot of bad kids. It has 0 to negative moral messaging. Like, just the moral messaging is terrible on this.
Decidedly harmful to humans. There's nothing redeeming about the stories or the lessons or anything like that. So yeah, it's a bad movie, but I had a lot of fun with it. Let's talk about the director really quickly. This is Francis Terry. This may surprise you to learn. This was Francis's only directing experience. It was a real one and done situation.
Real one and done. So yeah, Francis Terry only directed one movie. And I just wanted to preface this before we get into this. I believe, and James can correct me if he wants to, but I believe one of the reasons why James picked this movie is because it's all shot in New York. And you already mentioned Frank Henenlotter, but like this movie comes from that kind of era of 80s and 90s filmmaking in New York, where just anybody with a spare $50,000 laying around would just make a movie. Like, that's how we got Blades. That's how we got this movie. That's how we got, a lot of Troma films. Like, everybody saw what Troma was doing and said, well, I can fucking do that too, to varying degrees. So this is kind of where this movie comes from. It comes from that era of filmmaking, and Frank Henenlotter, which we already mentioned too. But it may also surprise you, though, that Francis Terry still lives in New York and runs a dance studio in which he teaches salsa and bachata.
Nice. I like that for him. I'm excited for that. I thought you were going to say Francis Terry, died of asphyxiation in a gutter somewhere. And I would have been like, yeah, that sounds perfectly. That sounds, in line with what I might expect. But if you would have given me 8 hours to guess dance studio, I would never have got there. So I think that's fun.
He actually appears to be living his best life. And because I was trying to find, so I've never seen the full movie before, but I remember seeing it on an episode of Red Letter Media, like a really early one. They did this on, one of their best of the worst episodes.
Sure.
And so I was just trying to find like more about Francis Terry, just to see if I could add some extra to our movie discussion tonight. And there really is nothing about him out there because, like you said, this movie's one and done. And then he just went and taught salsa and dance for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But apparently on the Vinegar Syndrome release of this film, they do have like a short interview with him. And that's about it. Yeah, that's about all you can find with this guy.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it doesn't sound like he stuck around in the industry too long, as can be said for pretty much everyone else involved in this film, with the exception of a couple of the actors. Most of them only showed up in this movie. One exception is personally my favorite character in the movie, which is Axel. Almost all hateable. Axel, I'm not going to say it was a good performance. I'm not going to say he's a good character. He's a horrible son of a bitch, but he was acting his balls off, and he just every moment on screen was entertaining. He was in a few movies, none of which I've seen, but throughout the 90s, a movie called High Voltage, another one called Recoil, another one called Final Impact. Essentially, it sounds like he performed in movies that only had extremely generic titles.
Yeah.
And then he was in a movie as recently as 2006 called Sasquatch Mountain, which I feel like I have heard of, but could have very easily just been making that up.
I'm sure we've passed it on Tubi.
Yeah, it feels like something when we've had Bigfoot Ben on, we've passed it scrolling along the Tubies. Handful of other folks have been in a couple of movies here and there. I think the person, Michael Gingold, who played the monster, probably has the most credits.
Oh yeah.
And he was also in David Weiner's In Search of Darkness and the In Search of Darkness Part 2, which David is a past great guest of ours, and I love his docs. So he showed up on there. So otherwise, no one else worked again.
Well, the one other person did. The woman who plays Bertha, Antoinette Green, she is like still acts today. Like she was just in a movie, or she was in a TV show.
Oh, I'm not even showing Bertha on here. What's her name?
Antoinette Green.
Antoinette Green. Okay, Bertha. Yeah. Sorry, I did go past Bertha.
Yeah. She does like a lot of bit parts. It seems like she just gets work, acting in kind of the New York area. But she was in a TV series for one episode called Pickleball is Life. Deal with it, which makes me laugh.
That makes me unhappy because there are so many pickleball. Pickleball is a gym class sport that suburban white people have really latched onto. And I always say there's so few like pickle puns, like dill. Like I like that. Yeah. But there is one. Oh, what's the one up near the Beaver Valley Mall where the Spirit Halloween was, over by the Rural King? In the Beaver Valley Mall, there's a pickleball place, right? I'm blanking on the name. It's
I didn't even know that. Oh,
I think
it's
an
called
indoor
like pickle.
It's an indoor pickleball place. I want to say it's called like. It's a horrible fucking pun. I'll look it up, but it's like so much so that I was like, read it and was like, I wonder how hard it would be to burn that place down. And then I just kept driving. But like it incited that type of rage in me.
Ooh, I've not seen that. No, I haven't.
Yeah, we'll let you linger on that one, audience. Yeah. So, all right, pickleball pilot.
Sure,
sounds like that. Sounds like the highlight. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite credit, though, and this is actually from my favorite character. I looked her up because she was my favorite character. But the actress playing Candy, I just looked her up to see if she had any other credits. And surprisingly, she only has 3 other credits. But in the very same year as the Suckling, she was in Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas.
Wonder which one she talks about when she's at dinner parties.
I know, right? She is in a very small role in Goodfellas, but it is during the Christmas party where everybody's coming into the Christmas party, and Robert De Niro is like yelling at everybody because they keep buying stuff with the money they stole.
Yeah, the pink Cadillac, and
she is the wife of one of the gangsters And
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, she's wearing the big mink coat. And so she comes in and Robert De Niro strips the mink coat off of her and rolls it up. And he's like, what are you fucking doing? What are you fucking stupid? I told you not to do.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I remember that actor now perfectly. I mean, very memorable scene. Okay. I like that. That's the person who played Candy.
Yeah, that's the person who played Candy. She's brunette in Goodfellas, but she's like blonde white in this film. So
yeah.
By
the way, back to the pun. The pun of the pickleball place in beautiful Monaca, Pennsylvania, Pitckleball.
Ew.
Like Pittsburgh.
Pitckleball.
What the fuck are you thinking?
That's why you're in a mall. You suck.
You son of a bitch. Pitckleball. All right. Let's jump into the story a little bit of the Suckling. We start out with a crazy text scroll, which I will say pretty unnecessary.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
They restate it like 5 minutes later.
Yeah. It's basically just talks about how there was like 12 people in a brothel / illegal abortion clinic, and only one of them survived. And the investigators spent years trying to figure out what happened. And was there something crazy going on? We don't know. Basically, they just summarized the first act in three short paragraphs and scrolled it on screen with like indents and everything. I'm like, why did you do that? That was not necessary at all.
Perfectly formatted and everything. And then at the very end, I love that they end the crawl with the filmmakers choose to believe this is real. So it sounds like they're setting up like this story. It has like a Blair Witch narrative to it almost.
they're basically what they're trying to say is this is based on true events.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're trying to say it, but like they just don't say that.
All right, I'm going to throw out the elephant in the room here right off the bat. For those of you who have seen The Suckling, and if you haven't, you're about to find out, and we're going to spoil it. So you know what? I don't think you should not watch it as a result. This is a absolute stupid schlock monster movie exploitation film. The monster, Steve has already mentioned this, but just to be clear, the monster is an aborted fetus that has been exposed to nuclear waste, or not nuclear waste, toxic waste. Waste. Yes. So this is all about a presumably high school or college age woman who is tricked into getting being forced into getting, or being essentially assaulted into getting like an illegal abortion. And I don't know what this movie wants us to think, but I'm uncomfortable with all of it. It's kind of where I'm at.
Again, like I said before, there's no good morals to this film, and it doesn't seem to have a good idea. Like, I guess it could be like a Scared Straight type thing.
That's what I'm trying to. Is this movie trying to tell us abortion is bad because it'll turn into a monster, or not giving a woman a choice is bad, but the way that they show it is obviously not fun or nice for anybody?
Yeah.
I don't know. And frankly, I don't care at all what Francis thinks about this. Go teach salsa. I'm one of those, and I'll go on record. I'm a bodily autonomy guy. Don't tell women what to do with their bodies. I know we're on the same page with this. I don't give a fuck what Francis Terry thinks or whoever wrote this, but I am confused and curious about what he thinks he's saying.
Yeah, I'll go further on record to say I don't give a shit what an old guy from Brooklyn fucking thinks.
About anything, especially about what women should do with their bodies. But I'm just confused because here's the thing. Everyone in this movie is horrible with the exception of she seems like she's going to be the main protagonist, but she's it feels like she's not even in the movie at times,
Mhm.
right?
Oh yeah.
And she's credited on Letterboxd as just girl. She doesn't even have a first name
Yeah.
on
yeah,
Letterboxd.
Yeah, she is supposed to be the protagonist. She is definitely the inciting incident, as she's
Yeah.
the one to get an abortion. But yeah, she's just named Girl, and everybody else has a name, which is crazy.
I know. So to me, I was partially like, okay, was that some sort of like comment on, her, being treated as insignificant by her dickhead boyfriend, who they say his name 9,000 times, which is Phil, by the way. The most just doing disrespect to the name Phil out here.
Bill.
Was that part of it?
It's
I thought it
credited
was Phil.
It's credited as Bill.
Oh, it is Bill, but I feel like they said Phil in the movie. I might be totally wrong.
They could have. It's not a good movie.
But anyway, I was unable to come up with any confident assumptions about what this movie was supposed to be telling us.
Yeah.
Aside from, we have very poor taste in making this movie, which in and of itself is a positive stance in my book. Like, we like bad movies made with bad taste. But I had to put that out there because it was very, very confusing throughout the movie for me. I flip-flop back and forth about 10 times about what I thought he wanted us to think. Yeah.
Like it's only just especially jarring with this film because, like, okay, when you watch The Room, you have no fucking idea what Tommy Wiseau is thinking, right? It's just his own imagined lived experience that he's like built up in his head through delusion and partial psychosis or whatever.
And eating paint chips.
Yeah. So like trying to decipher it isn't worth it. But that's also what makes the movie fun and good in a bad way. And this movie is similar to that because you have no fucking clue what Terry Francis has going on in his head, but it only it just comes off extra weird because
I love that we've started calling him Terry Francis instead of Francis.
Oh, it's Francis Terry.
I don't care.
Whatever.
I say we call him Terry Francis. I like that better.
Get more credits and then I'll give a shit. But
make a second movie. What if us shitting on it incited Francis Terry to come out of retirement and make another movie?
Please, fucking do it, dude. I dare you.
I dare you, you bitch.
Yeah. You won't, pussy.
we just bully someone into making a second movie 35 years later.
Make a sequel to The Suckling. Weak ass shit. You dance all day. Fruit.
Nice dancing, you piece of shit. Make a movie, bitch. We just have a new segment, a weekly part of the show.
Bully the filmmaker.
It's a segment where we just bully specifically Francis Terry.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, anyway, just my end point to that is just like this one just sticks out because even though it's insane and hard to decipher, it's the fact that it's about like abortion and women's bodily rights as the like.
Yeah, it's a very serious, divisive topic. Yeah, which in and of itself is partially why it's in such bad taste. But in any case, aside from cast of some people who are just clearly not actors, and the crazy text scroll, it has a lot of. Whoever wrote the score for this was trying to be John Carpenter adjacent, which is not uncommon for. Pretty sure it's just movie.
Francis's brother. I think the credit was Joseph Terry, so I think it's just his brother.
Yeah, Joey, old Joey who works down at the bodega.
Hey Joey, I'm making a movie over here.
Hey Joey, go get your fucking. I was gonna say shine box, but go get your fucking keyboard. Go
Good
get
fellas
your
on the brain.
Fucking keyboard. And he did, and he listened to the score of Halloween and did the closest proximity of somebody who's eating paint chips. So we get this opening scene where there's a lot of confusing things in this, but I wrote down the night doctor comes to a lady's home and then takes her to a sexy hospital. It's this guy who appears to be a surgeon of some sort shows up to, I think we're supposed to think it's a hospital room, but it's clearly someone's like bedroom in their apartment, and then abducts her, maybe, I don't know, but takes her to a hospital where there is nurses with their boobs out,
carrying bloody axes.
Carrying bloody axes and talking in a saucy way. Anyway, just kidding. It was a dream within a dream. So she dreams that somebody's like cutting into her belly, but then she dreams that she's in a, I forget. It's an Inception level dream within a dream, but I forget which is the dream inside of the dream.
She wakes up and then she goes to like the bathroom mirror and is like looking at herself in the mirror, and then night doctor's back and he pops up behind her and cuts her throat.
Night doctor shows up a second time, but then of course it's also a dream.
Yeah. I watched the sequence and I was thinking, like, did the filmmaker just like half watch Halloween 2? Because the Halloween the Halloween fake score is going while this is happening. And then, you know, like a lot of that is set in a hospital. So I think he just like half watched Halloween 2 and just, you know, like.
And he didn't watch. He didn't watch the first one, so he thought it was Killer Doctor movie.
Yeah, he thought it was a Killer Doctor movie. He was so confused. He thought like Michael Myers was a janitor at the hospital. He's like, yeah, that's pretty scary. But what if it was a doctor?
Yeah, Francis was like, Joey, go make a horror score. And he's like, what does that mean? And he's like, go watch a scary movie and then make some music for it. And he was like, okay. He went down to the video store, got like 3, watched 10 minutes of each, and then made the score.
And I can tell you, 2 of the movies he watched Halloween 2. Like him and his brother sat down. They watched Halloween 2. They watched Night of the Living Dead. And then I don't know what the other one was. Maybe they saw like an early screening of like a Frank Henenlotter.
Maybe that, or they watched something kind of weird and Lovecraftian, because something with it gets weird and Lovecraftian at some point.
From Beyond, maybe?
Maybe, perhaps. Yeah. That sounds right. Because there were pinks too, the pink goo, and From Beyond, I think you're probably right. I will say my favorite characters, aside from Axel, are these 2 dingus doctors.
Dude, big doctor, little doctor bit is so funny to me. I love it.
One of them is, I don't know if one's big and one's little, or one's normal and one's really little. I'm not sure. But they're like 2 absolute dinguses. You could go like to your local, walk into your local like grocery store, hardware, wherever, and just find the 2 doofiest guys you can find, put them in a lab coat, and then just have them pretend to be doctors. That's what they did. But the funny decision, like you said, is that one appears to be about 6'4" and one appears to be about 4'11".
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
I needed a third bigger doctor to really complete it for me. Like
you needed like a 7'2" doctor.
Yeah. Like if they somehow could have just got Patrick Ewing to fucking just take notes in the background. God damn it.
Yeah. That'd have been great. They explained that this girl that's in the hospital there with them that just had the double dream, she was the only survivor of the brothel massacre we saw in the text screen, or saw explained in the text screen. And now she's got some sort of dream disease, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't come back, so don't worry. But she's explained something about some sort of sleep disorder she has now. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to call him Phil. It might be Bill, but he's a real charmer, right? He's got a Letterman jacket on. He's a real prick bastard. And he takes his girlfriend, this charming young lady, on a date to a back alley abortion clinic. And here's the thing. Shame on him. He's a bastard the entire time, and it gets worse for her. But also, not to victim blame here, but when your boyfriend tells you you're going to the illegal abortion clinic, just like test drive, just to see how it is, don't believe him. You shouldn't believe him.
That's just
because her whole thing is she's having it. She doesn't want to have an abortion. And he's like, let's just go check it out. Maybe it's awesome. Like, what? What is the pull for her to come? She says, like, I'm just there here to make him happy. But it's like, if you've decided you're not going to do this, don't go to that place, right?
Yeah, she's very explicit in the fact that she says, I'm going to have it, but I'm going to give it up for adoption. So, like, she has no intention of raising the kid, but she just isn't comfortable with abortion, which that's fine. Hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But
yeah,
the whole, like, I'm going to drag you to an abortion clinic, and it, like, it's, I guess I could understand, like, there are times when you have a medical procedure and, like, you know, you sit down with the doctor and the doctor will explain the procedure and they'll tell you how it's going to go and all that. Sure, that's great. But not when it's a dilapidated house and a dude is getting pegged upstairs.
Listen, here, I will say, for the facilities, they did have a waiting room, which I was very surprised to see they had a waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
Like what looked like speaking of Frank Henenlotter films, this waiting room is nicer than the waiting room in oh gosh, what am I thinking?
Basket Case?
Oh, it is Basket Case. Yes. Remember when you get yes, it is the waiting room for Basket Case. Yeah. So they have the waiting room, they're sitting in there. They have an extended scene of a dominatrix, because this is, of course, a brothel as well. Extended scene of a dominatrix with a whip, and she's got this John there with him, just slamming him with a dildo for a while.
This felt like the most.
So this is what kind of movie we're getting.
Yeah, this felt like the most Henenlotter scene, and like maybe he guest directed it, because it's very silly, but it's also pushing a lot of limits, because the guy's standing there with a dildo in his hand, and the dominatrix whips it out of his hand like Indiana Jones before jamming it up his ass.
She does have Indiana Jones level skills. Yeah. This felt like it could be right in Frankenhooker for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. This is where we're very confused about what we're supposed to think at this point. So they take her into the room, you know, and it's like, come back to the back room. We'll check it out. And she's like, no, I don't want to. And then he's like, no, just check it out. Okay. You know, she goes to the back room. If you're abortion doctor, which we understand this is not an actual healthcare professional, right? Mm-hmm. You know, we're not at Planned Parenthood here. We're in a weird dilapidated house that somebody's getting pegged upstairs. Walks in, and the first thing they do is hand you a weird little glass of wine. Don't take it. Kelly, that was a good one. Pegged Parenthood. Yes, that's essentially where we're at. Yeah. So if they hand you a weird little glass of like communion wine, don't take it.
Don't drink that.
But she does. She passes out. She essentially gets, they do an abortion on her while she's unconscious. So Phil has set this all up. He's a rat bastard. And they forcibly essentially, give her an abortion. I was not expecting this. I seen this movie. I swear I've like half watched this movie before, but I felt like I was watching it for the first time, but I did not remember the fetus being a little doll, like a weird little doll.
Yeah.
Like this weird little, like almost skeletal looking doll, but it's way too big. Like none of it adds up. Right.
Right.
They're not, these aren't doctors they didn't consult medical professionals when they made this movie. But they flush it down the toilet. That's what they do at this clinic. They flush them down the toilet. They don't have any better means by which to dispose of medical waste. Feels like there would be better options, even if, the whole thing wasn't stupid as fuck. I feel like there's better options, but they flush it down the sewer to a place that is not what a sewer looks like also. So like sewers aren't just like open troughs where shit flops into and then just sits there.
It looks like the Jason Takes Manhattan sewer.
Yeah, this is clearly not what a sewer looks like. This is just like some sort of like, I don't know, I guess I don't know, maybe it was a rain sewer or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, runoff.
But it's just a runoff. It's clearly not where, raw waste would end up from a toilet. But it does immediately come in contact with a dripping 50-gallon tipped over drum of toxic waste, because this does seem like the type of neighborhood where a giant, conglomerate, evil conglomerate of some sort would definitely dump toxic waste.
Mhm.
This is also when we learn that it's alive. The fetus is alive. It's squirming, it's kicking, it's crying. Although it's like not formed, but it's very long. It's just, none of this makes sense. Also, it starts growing almost immediately when the toxic waste hits it, and it starts to look alarmingly like the Vortilac, the puppet they used in that movie.
Yeah.
Early on, it's got this weird, who is the guy, the big tall guy in, oh gosh, I'll get think of Fire Walk with Me, Twin Peaks. He looks like that big tall guy a little bit.
Yeah, he does.
I forget the actor's name, but he's reminiscent of that.
Because he's
guy
also in Gerald's
well.
Game too, right?
Where he's in, no. Gerald Game. He's the night man or whatever in Gerald's Game. Yeah. The guy in the courtroom that breaks the handcuffs and all that stuff.
Carol Strucken. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks a little bit like a tiny little miniature version of him. We have been introduced at this point to Big Mama. She is in charge of the brothel / abortion clinic. And she also uses coat hangers to perform the abortions, but then also winds them back up, reforms them, uses them as hangers.
That is
because she has one hanger, and that hanger needs to do dual purpose. It needs to be a hanger for abortions and a hanger for clothes.
It's Lady Beetlejuice hangs up her doctor's coat on a used abortion hanger, and that is the most that's the most trauma this movie gets, I think.
It is very trauma vibe. And honestly, we don't get as much of that, and I'm using air quotes if you can't see me, humor throughout the rest of the movie. It really peaks at this point, I feel like.
Yeah, it feels so out of place, but it is so just like jarring and disgusting. But that's exactly something that would appear in a trauma movie. And I don't think it does, because they already used that joke, and I think Lloyd would know that. And he's like, well, I can't steal their bits.
Can't steal the bits. If there's one thing Lloyd Kaufman is going to do, he's going to have integrity regarding it, is bit stealing.
Yeah. He has no integrity for anything else, but he won't steal bits.
He won't pay you, but he will also not steal your bits.
Yep.
So she wakes up confused. Obviously, she's been drugged, and Phil explains that he planned the whole thing. He's just like, it's done. Sorry, that's what happened. And he's not, as you might imagine, remorseful about it at all. So Phil, in my mind, he's the villain, right? Phil's is the bastard here, right?
Yeah.
Turns out not really. Phil is essentially painted as the main protagonist the rest of the movie.
He's like one of the villains, but not necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, you think he should be, but he's not treated as such.
No.
At all. Anyway, one of the sex workers has this John that's displeased, and they're arguing or whatever. She just pulls off and shoots him. Just blasts him.
Yeah.
And then we get Sherman, who is, I don't know exactly what his role is there. He's a pimp. I'm not really sure, but he's like the authority, the muscle kind of at the abortion clinic, but not really, because also Axel is that a little bit.
Yeah, they both are. They both are
confusing. They're just kind of Big Mama's like lackeys, I'll say.
Yeah, like Axel, I believe, is like some sort of like orphan that Big Mama took in off the street and raised.
She raised him. Yeah, it's her only kin.
Yeah, and Sherman is just like, he's just muscle for hire, but he's an
ex-military. He's like, he seems to be the like the I don't know, the pit boss, if you will, of the brothel.
I was taking him as the Dalton of the brothel.
Sure.
of Planned Parenthood. He's the Dalton of Planned Parenthood because
Yeah. And he never rips anybody's throat out, which is pisses me off. He does have to dispose of this body though, and he's pretty nonplussed about everything. Sherman, the guy who plays Sherman, does not appear to be an actor of any kind.
Not at all.
No, he just, everything is completely just like he no sells every single element. Anyway, the whole thing's kind of not a big deal to him. You think this is going to be the inciting incident where the guy gets shot? No, not really. All right, we're slowly seeing the transformation of the monster from aborted fetus to giant killer monster, which they show in all the promotional materials for the movie. It's on, like, they just show it too much. And I get it because it's a really cool costume.
Yeah.
It's a rubber costume, but it's got those like creepy Mac and Me giant oversized but human looking eyes, which I do think set it apart from some other, rubber suit monsters. It's got a lot of appendages. It looks like something like if there was like a Hellraiser crossover on Super Sentai. Like it feels like it's a little bit, it has Super Sentai vibes with all the big rubber prosthetics and, there's like a stinger type of thing. And there's a lot of like little vines, like they're supposed to be like, I guess, the umbilical cord.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all these things. But then it's it's pretty gross. It's all flesh colored and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's all wet. Like it's sticky.
It's all got, they use so much KY, so much petroleum jelly and stuff all over this thing.
KY and Caro is the order of the day. Yeah. That's the toxic waste this thing fell in.
But here's my question. Where did they get this suit? Because the suit is way too good for the movie.
They made it. So
did they really make it?
Yeah. So here, this is the other interesting thing about the film that I found. Is that, and it's also a thing that occurs a lot, I feel like, in films from this era and and New York specifically, is that the films are really dog shit, but the effects teams are actually really good, and then they go on to continue to work. Like I found this in a film called Mutant Hunt. That was like an early Charles Band production. Like they built like these amazing animatronics that like carry this dog shit film. And this seems to be kind of the similar thing. So it's a small 3-man team though of you have Craig Lindbergh, who did the special makeup effects. And then you have Ralph Cordero and Dean Murcell. And so just a couple credits. Ralph Cordero seems to be kind of like the lead of this because, and you'll love this, he was a sculptor of a robot mask on Robot Holocaust.
No shit. There are a lot of this. I'm watching this currently in the background. It's kind of reminiscent of Frankenstein's Army in that there's so many guys. There's just guys on guys on guys.
So many guys. So yeah, he doesn't have the most credits, but he has a few. But he worked on the Toxic Avenger previously, and then worked on Robot Holocaust, worked on this film, and like one of his last credits is Coraline and Paranorman. Those are two.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So he went on to like
two great. Yeah. I mean, tons of the whole movies are sculpting, right?
Yeah. Dean Murcell is very similar in that, and you'll love this because he's been on other films that we've covered in the past. He was special effects technician on Black Roses and Blades before this.
Oh, got some good mask work. Got some good mask work.
Yeah. And then he worked on Critters 3 and 4, and one of his last credits is Face Off.
No shit.
Yeah.
Good for them. Good for them. Yeah. That's the one thing for this movie is just like the only reason anyone knows about this movie or twofold. One, terrible taste, potentially horribly offensive, all that stuff. And this suit, this monster, is
Yeah.
way too good for the rest of the movie. Good for them. This monster rules. It's not very mobile.
No,
but
it
looks great.
No, it's not very mobile at all. But the one last guy I wanted to call out, just because he's the one that has the most credits and is continuing to work, is Craig Lindbergh. And this guy,
if his name was Crud, his name was Crud. That would be
Dude,
awesome.
Crud Lindbergh?
Awesome effects guy name, Crud
Yeah.
Lindbergh.
But no, he started, like, this is actually one of his first credits as like a special effects makeup artist. But he worked on most recently, still in theaters as of recording, Marty Supreme. He was the makeup artist on. But he also did like Challengers. He did the Fallout TV show. So yeah, he did the American Horror Story. So this guy's been working. John Wick 3. But yeah.
Nice.
So like a whole bunch of people just got their start on this dog shit film and then went on to do more. Because
Good
like
for
we're
them.
saying,
That's
the work
what you
is
need.
good.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's great. The transformation is great. The final form of the monster is great. Yeah. So anyway, she wakes up, Phil explains the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. The woman gets shot. We talked about, what I thought was a front was like a wiener, but it's actually like it's the umbilical cord. Anyway, Candy, I love this character. This is the woman who was, played that small role in Goodfellas. Candy is the older, hooker with a heart of gold, acid tongue, just tell it how it is. She's seen it all. But she also still calls dicks penises, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
What? Been in the game for a minute, probably, right? When's she gonna say penis? I feel like she would say like tallywhacker or something. Like she would say like Johnson. Like she would say some old timey slang for dick, not Pete. She wouldn't say the medical term.
Yeah, you wanted like 40, 50 slang. But yeah, no, she's just firmly right in the middle, neutral about it. And she's like, yeah, this guy, he came in to get his penis sucked off, but he got shot instead. It's like, okay.
Which I love that joke, but if she would just said dick, it would have been more in character, I feel like.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bertha, who I thought Bertha was going to be like a sympathetic character. She's kind of like she felt like she had like a bit of a caretaker vibe. She was the one that was like, felt like she was going to be like Big Mama's like assistant kind of thing. No, Bertha gets her head ripped off by a toilet tentacle so early in this movie. And then, Candy sees it happen, runs to tell everyone, nobody believes her. And then Axel and Sherman, who are the two, I don't know, bodyguard / enforcer / whatever guys just hanging around the brothel /
degenerates / runaways /
just degen. Exactly. They go to check and they find Bertha dead. And Big Mama's like, we're going to get to the bottom of this. She's all about action. Big Mama's like, don't worry, I'll figure it out. Big Mama's going to take care of things. She literally doesn't do anything in this movie at all. No. So Phil, the boyfriend who tricks his girlfriend into, being drugged and forcibly given an abortion. I could not stop laughing because Phil gets gayer and gayer as this movie goes on. And he's supposed to be this like jock, dickhead boyfriend jock guy, but he just is more and more clear that he's just like an obviously clearly gay theater kid playing that character, and it just comes out more and more as the movie comes on. He's just annoyed at the whole thing, and then later on he ends up kind of becoming like a hero a little bit. Again, it's doesn't make any fucking sense, but Axel tries to break down the window, but then there's some sort of like they just like, let's get the fuck out of this house, something bad's happening. But there's this mysterious like glowing brain goo covering the windows and the doors from the outside, so they're trapped in the house, right?
I was like, is that supposed to be like the placenta or something? Like it's forming a new womb around the house?
So it looks like it's just covering the windows and doors at first, but then we learn later it has covered the entire house. So you might be right, but it also is a little bit more like, ectoplasm type, like Ghostbusters style ectoplasm too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I do like at one point we'll get to like what they did with it, even though it makes no damn sense. I do think it kind of took a fun turn later, but yeah, it's apparently very strong and they can't get out.
This is where they turn the movie into like Night of the Living Dead, because
yes, very much so.
Everybody's trapped in the house, and now you have like people at odds with each other, and this is also where we lose the track of girl, like she becomes like Barbara, and the fact that she's traumatized from her abortion, and then like everybody just kind of forgets about her anyway, and just leaves her to freak out on the couch or whatever.
And she's like, falling in and out of consciousness. And to your point, it's now this power struggle between Axel and Sherman, and also like a couple of annoying people just saying stuff in the background, like Phil, and like the one weird, like, I just called him Business John because he talks about how he's a businessman, but he's obviously he's a client at the brothel. But they're trying to figure out what they're up against here. They're all confused. The editing in this movie, wild editing decisions. A lot of like swipe kind of cuts from person to person, but then also they tried to like work in these like in camera like stop motiony like visual effects that just are clearly shot with like, I think a different camera or something, I'm not sure, but like the lighting will just go completely different for a while. The editing and cinematography are all over the place.
Yeah, it's probably like when they do the stop motion stuff, they probably are doing like fully blown out lighting, so there's no shadows, so it doesn't change when they do little small, motions. They're like they're trying their best to just avoid any kind of other weird shadows in it. So it's like very basic stop motion animation when they do that. But yeah, it is. Yeah, like this was shot on 16 millimeter, obviously. And, it's been blown up. So whatever you're looking at is like just a grainy, blurry image to begin with. I don't know. I can't vouch for the Vinegar Syndrome release of it. I'm sure it looks a little bit better. But yeah, this is, it's just 16 millimeter blown up to 35 millimeter blown up to 1080p on your dumbass phone or computer or whatever. So yeah,
I watched this on Tubi and it looks horrible.
Yeah. It looks, it's, thankfully, the movie isn't like dark in a way that you can't tell what's going on, but it is just grainy and blurry, messy.
Yeah. We do finally get another attack. And I forget what her name is, but the girl who shot the John early on, she gets it. I think her name is oh gosh, I didn't write it down. I think it's
Vanessa.
I think it is Vanessa. Yeah, I think you're right. Vanessa gets attacked we see a little face and a claw, and I guess he has like some sort of weird, like almost like scorpion umbilical cord or something. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the physiology he has is. He's got like some sort of claw, but it seems like it's coming from behind him at times. I'm not sure. But that's like his main way he's killing people.
Yeah, it's super not clear. And they show it in the transformation scene where he has like a weird skeletal hand that falls apart into this stinger, but then sometimes it comes from other directions. And so it just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And the other thing is you almost never see the monster and the actor being attacked in the same frame at the same time. So like, you can't tell what's happening.
Mostly see a close up of one part of the monster, usually its face. And then, yeah, something either wrapping around one of the little umbilical cords, wrapping around a person's neck, or, yeah, a spike stabbing them in the chest or something like that. This is when Axel really starts to come into his own because, like I said, he's acting at 11. Everyone else is at a 3. Sherman is at a 1, 1.5. So like Axel is just manic in these scenes. He pulls a switchblade on Sherman and Sherman just fucks him up. And that's when you get the idea that it really does feel like that dynamic in Night of the Living Dead between the father and the main protagonist. But Candy, between her hair and her makeup and the way she talks, she feels like a character from Pee-wee's Playhouse.
A little bit.
And I love her so much. She's actually my favorite. I mean, she's not in it as much, but she's fantastic. I wrote, I love Candy. Kelly will appreciate this. I wrote this right after I watched Saltburn, and I wrote, I love Candy. I don't just love her. I'm in love with her. I was so excited about Candy at this point. Anyway, I love Phil just getting progressively gayer. It was cracking me up. At one point, I don't know if it's him or I think it's actually John that says this. Yeah, it's John to Sherman. He says, "You're a vulgarian."
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love that
good
insult.
scene.
I want to start using that.
This is a good unintentional scene of like class consciousness coming to fruition because you have this businessman who's like in his suit, he has his tie. Everybody else is kind of either dressed like a sex worker, or it's Sherman and Axel are like they're just kind of like in wife beaters and button up shirts, like they're very low class. Everybody's low class except for this businessman. And then but Sherman decides, "Hey, businessman, you're gonna chisel at this door to get us out." And he's like, "What do you mean? I'm the top of the crust. You can't make me do this." And he's like, "Shut up and chisel." Shut up.
Well, and then also later takes him to the basement and treats him like a dog, makes him bark and heel and all this stuff like a dog.
Yeah.
Again, I'm here for Axel. I love, he's a bastard. It's unforgivable what he does to Candy, but I'm just saying, I like his vibe overall. So Sherman's plan is to make, John chisel, while the rest of them go just jam shit down the drains. So Sherman is a fucking moron. He only has bad ideas. Everyone has bad ideas pretty much, but Sherman's are terrible. He just decides he's going to, let's go like jam like broom handles down all the drains. Like that's going to work.
I mean, he's working with what the best he has. They're told it came up from the toilet. So then he's like, well, then let's just stick shit down the drains until it comes up or doesn't come up or gets blocked. Who knows? I don't know what I'm doing.
Does or doesn't come up. I guess at this point, he doesn't necessarily know that they're as stuck as they are. But anyway, Phil gets grabbed pretty quick as they're jamming up the drains with one of the umbilical cords. But then Sherman saws it off with like a steak knife. And we get this first, like the questionable stop motion flopping of the umbilical cord. It's like that. And then later on with a hand, you could tell they were trying to do something in camera and it wasn't working. That maybe should have ended up on the cutting room floor. But I don't know why I really got a kick out of this line. The asshole businessman John, his line was, he doesn't want to chisel. He's very anti-chiseling and he's bad at it. I could see why. But he's trying to chisel and he's getting madder and madder because he's being made to do this and he's like hitting his thumb and blah, blah, blah. And he just turns around and goes, "Why don't one of you whores take a turn?" I don't know why that line just cracked me up. Just something like Danny DeVito would say on like It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, yeah.
Why don't you whores take a turn? So anyway, Phil has a pretty bold plan of creating a battering ram out of an old like trunk, like costume trunk, and some rope, and he's gonna swing it. They're gonna tie it to the ceiling and swing it and crush, break the door down, I guess. I don't know. Sherman is sold on it immediately. Again, this is why Sherman's so dumb. Phil's dumb, but Phil's like, let's make a battering ram. He explains it. Terrible idea. Sherm goes, looks like your plan's going to get us out of here. It's like, not only am I sold, it's as good as done for me.
Yeah.
This is a foolproof plan.
I'm on board. Obviously, sticking shit in the drains wasn't the way to go, so it's got to be this. Like,
it's only two options. I just immediately thought of the like Tim Robinson meme. Like, you sure about that?
You sure about that?
Like, this is all I can think about. It's not going to work. Come on.
This is a type of hell for me of like being trapped in a house with a bunch of stupids. Is really what this is.
Yeah, this is it's that Night of the Living Dead scenario that we talked about, but everyone's like been eating paint chips for 30 years.
Yeah, everybody is as dumb as they come, and so like you can't rely on anybody, and this is the best thing they come up with is swinging luggage into a door.
Yeah, they're all so fucking stupid. Axel shows up just shaking a gun, waving a gun around. I guess he like shoots the rope, I think. I'm not sure. But they don't have anyone on set to do like ballistics, obviously, or anything like that. So the gunfires in this are incredibly unrealistic. Also, none of the actors have ever fired a gun. So they are trying to show like the recoil when they're shooting a fake gun, obviously, but they're like pushing it forward, like they're kind of like trying to throw the bullets out of the end of the gun. and then also they just use some sort of like sparkler type effect where it actually looks like almost like a 4th of July sparkler, but just one quick spark when the gun, like instead of muzzle flash. It looks very, very bad. And I know we've talked about they were doing with limited limited budget and everything, and the costume's great, but the gunfire is some of the all-time worst. Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is like something we don't remember because we were too young, but like it snaps from the late 80s, early 90s. Were they more loaded with like sparking black powder?
They probably were. Yeah. It almost does feel like a cap gun probably would feel more like a muzzle flash than this actually does. You know what I mean? Because at least it's gunpowder. Like this is clearly like a sparkler kind of. It's like a bright white light comes out like when they shoot. Followed by like smoke. It's almost like a musket when they shoot this like semi-automatic pistol.
It's even funnier when somebody gets shot in the back of the head and it just it just goes off. It like her head sparks it.
Yeah, we're about to get there. There's a fight. Sherm ends up getting the gun. Just as Sherm is about to kill Axel, the monster busts through the wall with his, goddamn googly mac and me eyes and kills Sherm by like hugging him. Did not expect Sherman to die so early, but he does, which is probably good for everybody. Again, he was a horrible, horrible actor.
He was out of ideas, so he didn't have it.
Yeah, you got to get out of here. Axel is now drunk with power because Sherman's out of the picture and just randomly executes Candy like with the spark gun that we just talked about. Like Candy's mouthing off to him and he's just like, you know what? Fuck you. Bang. Shoots her in the head. This movie is, again, if aborted, fetus in the drain, down the toilet, all that stuff wasn't mean. I mean, this stuff is, there's a lot of just absolutely mean-spirited things like the hooker with the heart of gold getting shot in the head for no reason. Axel's like smooth fish-brained logic of where the monster is going to be was pretty entertaining to me. He's like, so he's in the drain, right? And he's an animal, and animals need a home and they need warmth. So it must be in the boiler room. Like he's got this, it's like just dumb guy logic of like ipso facto, he must be in the boiler room. And they all are like, you're a genius because he's got a gun.
Axel must also be the one who does Charlie work around Planned Parenthood. And that, like, he knows where rats are. Like, rats do hang out by the boiler. So, like, when he has to bash rats, he goes down to the boiler room. And that's all he can think. He's like, yeah, well, the rats is down there, so it must be this thing's home, too. Maybe he's eating the rats. I don't know.
Did we check Axel's tongue? I bet he has a green tongue.
Were you drinking pain, Axel?
That he's been drinking.
No. I know you don't.
No, why am I drinking?
I know you don't drink paint. I know you don't drink paint.
He takes Phil, Vanessa, the business John, takes them all down to the basement, and they do find some like loose tentacles around. And Phil says he's like, that's some discarded, organic matter. Like, how do you know? He's like, I think I seen something like this at college. Like, what are you talking about? When? Why? He's seen it in his college learning, so he knows it's part of the monster. Axel has horrific trigger discipline.
Yes.
Every time he hears a noise, not only is his finger on the trigger, every time he hears a noise, he just unloads a whole clip in whatever direction he hears it from.
He also he does Plan 9 acting with his finger on the trigger. Like there's times where he's just talking to people and he just has the gun in his hand and he's emoting with his finger on the trigger. He's just like, now don't you talk back to me, college boy. And just like, he's just holding the gun up to him and showing it. It's like,
I was waiting for him to scratch his head with it. It was only a matter of time. They get to the basement. The monster immediately attacks Vanessa. And Axel, because he's been unloading clips into the wall every time he hears a noise, he hears a cat at one point literally fire like 8 rounds at nothing at the wall. He runs out of bullets, but somehow it's the bullets' fault. He just unloads the gun, and then it's like click, 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 and he's like, God, stupid bullets.
Stupid bullets.
It's not the bullets' fault you unloaded 2 clips at a noise. Axel does get attacked. He falls. He like burns his face on a pipe, so he's got this like kind of cool looking like burn mark all over his face the rest of the time. Between his hands getting burned, like he looks like he's auditioning for a Home Alone, like Wet Bandits role at this point. Axel's just getting all these comical injuries. He decides that he's going to use the John as bait. So tapes up his mouth, puts him down there to draw out the monster, I guess. But when he goes down there, he hears like this noise. He finds the monster, and I don't know, I might have missed this. I actually rewound it and still feel like I don't understand what was happening. The monster is just like playing with the electrical box, and I don't know if the monster was trying to cut the power or what. But the monster seems to be just like playing with the electrical box. He shoots it a bunch. I don't know if he misses it or it's not really doing any damage, but he picks up some sort of, I don't know, metal javelin that's just in the basement, some sort of random pointy pipe, runs at him, and the monster does the old bullfighter ole, sticks the pipe into the electric box and electrocutes himself until he explodes.
Yep, until his head explodes, which somehow is going in the opposite direction. We started saying that the filmmakers of this film started by watching Halloween 2. Mm-hmm. Then you have to wonder, did the filmmakers of Halloween 6 watch this?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It's exactly what happens to the dad in Halloween 6.
Yeah, like just even the fact that his head explodes, like not his entire body, just Axel's entire head just explodes. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
I personally, if I could put a little bit of critique on the Suckling, I think they should have done what they do to Marv in Halloween 2, which is when he gets electrocuted, he screams. It turns into a skeleton.
Of
the
course.
Funniest moment in film history. That would have put it over the top for me. I would have been in line buying the Vinegar Syndrome release if that would have happened.
I don't know. I can't say it's not in the Vinegar Syndrome release. Maybe
it might be.
Yeah.
It might be. The girl who does not have a name decides to dream a montage of what has happened in the movie up until now. I'm like, was there an intermission built in to this film? Like, why did we do that?
I feel like it's possible that they had maybe a plan for another dream for her to have. And then they didn't film it, and so they just had to construct a montage to make the editing make sense to have her come out of a dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it was so silly. So,
yeah.
I mean, there were clearly things left on the cutting room floor. We get it during the credits at the end.
Mm-hmm.
There was clearly a whole outdoor sequence we didn't see.
Yeah.
But yeah, this doesn't make much sense. But anyway, let's get back to Phil's. They're like, okay, Axel's dead. You know, people are dropping like flies here. Let's get back to Phil's battering ram idea. That's clearly the strongest idea we've had so far. So they're doing that. They hear something in the closet, and they tell the other prostitute, who for some reason she has the gun, to unload into the closet. And she does that, and then not dead yet Vanessa comes stumbling out. She was in the closet. She's now been attacked and now shot a bunch of times. And my question is, Vanessa, why are you in the closet?
Vanessa why did nobody see Vanessa go in the closet is my question.
She's been attacked. We thought she was dead. They're like, oh no, it was Vanessa. She wasn't dead yet. They like say that. Why, when Vanessa stumbled up the stairs, you know, obviously severely wounded by a monster attack, why did she go hide in the closet quietly for a while?
I don't know. Yeah. Why didn't she tell anybody? Why didn't anybody just notice her take off upstairs? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. She gets the bum end of this scene for sure. So the battering ram kind of works, but when they break through the door no longer leads outside. And here's where I was starting to get really, because at this point I'm like, okay, this movie, like, let's wrap it up. And then this happened, and I was like, hell yeah. Because no longer does it lead outside. It leads into a bloody jungle gym of like rope and cheesecloth and shit. And I'm like, this reminded me of what's the one of the guy, what's the movie called? The guy who builds the fort out of like,
oh yeah, it's
cardboard.
Like Lucas Made a Maze or something like that. Somebody made a maze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that. And I was like, wait, who made a maze out here? Like somebody made a dang old haunted house out here, but it's all like red lit and like, I get what they were going for, right? I think you're probably on the right track. I didn't think about it as being the womb. Yes. Thank you, Kelly. Dave made a maze. It reminds me of that, except for instead of made out of cardboard, it's made out of rope, like bound, like bound up rope. You know, it's not like could be construed as like biological, you know, type of material. It's rope. It's like, rope and cheesecloth and like stuff like that.
That's what
like
they're going for.
Gauzy type stuff.
Yeah, like they're going for it being, you know, biological material because like it's all dyed red and everything. It's just
some of it is, but some of it isn't. It was just a weird. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's just the
I
fact
just
that
like
they
the
didn't
idea that the inside of this creature.
They should have slimed it up.
Yeah, they definitely needed to make it wetter. It was very dry in there. But here's my thing is like, if you're not going to fill it with like umbilical fluid or whatever, like, yeah, just make it wet and slimy. But I don't know, just don't use rope. Use like hunks of like, I don't know, garden hose or something that is smoother, not like fibrous. Like you can clearly see it's like woven fibrous twine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the crazy thing. It almost comes off like cotton candy at some points, like the way they can pull it apart. And it's just like I like what you're going for, but this turns into like a Legends of the Hidden Temple room. more than anything.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, we can't get the kids wet and messy like Double Dare. So like they just got to run through this rope course. Don't bother them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so bizarre. But John decides he's going to venture out there. And he immediately gets munched. And the remaining crew inside hears him screaming and getting killed and eaten. And then they see his like weird hand like crawling inside, like after it kind of gets like munched off. I don't know. Again, they're trying to do that stop motion. That stop motion thing does not work at all. And then to make things even darker, the other prostitute, the one that shot Vanessa, just goes, "Oh, we're fucked." Blows her brains out with the spark gun. Big Mama, they all just are like, okay, we're dead. This is hopeless at this point. So the one prostitute kills herself. Big Mama goes, "I'm going to go find Axel's corpse because I raised him and that boy's my only closest thing to kin I got," and whatever. She goes to find him, immediately runs into the monster, gets killed. Phil essentially has like a "I'm not afraid anymore" Macaulay Culkin moment. But then it busts in up through the floor, and his whole idea is like, I'm just going to go and attack it, and if it grabs me, at least I know that I'm not going to miss with my gun because I'll be so close. But then the thing busts up through the floor and is just like seemingly caught in the floor 4 feet away from him, point blank range. And he does not take the shot.
Yeah.
He just sits there, not shooting it.
He just absolutely just whiffs and just does nothing until it runs up and bites him. Like he has.
Yeah. And then it comes up and just kills him. Like he has all day to take this shot.
Yeah. Like I wish maybe, because of Axel's poor trigger discipline, they could have just illustrated that the gun was empty. That's all you needed to do.
Yeah.
Just illustrate that the gun
was
empty.
That's all you needed to do.
But no.
Yeah, Axel wasted 40 rounds. We get it. No one's going to argue if the gun's empty.
Yeah, everybody just go, "Oh yeah, of course." Axel had a fucking carnival round of shooting bottles in the basement. So yeah, there's no bullets left. That's fine.
But now here's where, despite all this insanity, the single wackiest scene happens. We've got the girl left. The titular girl, from fame of being assaulted and drugged and all these things earlier. Girl. The monster runs at the girl. As it runs at her, it shrinks down into some smaller and smaller weird dolls. The way they do this is by quick cutting to smaller, I guess like model versions of the creature, but it looks less and less like the creature as it gets smaller, and then runs back up. At one point, it looks like, and this is about the 4th time I've referenced the movie I can't remember the title of, but the one with the woman who makes the stop motion animation. I think it's called Stop Motion.
Yeah, it's just called Stop Motion.
Yeah. Do you remember what the little meat creature kind of looked like in stop motion?
Oh, yeah. It looks,
that's kind of what this creature looks like in its smallest form.
Yeah. Its final form, it just has like this blank mask face, and like they're not even googly eyes because they don't rattle in the Google part of it. They're just like big cartoon eyes on this blank open mouth clay face, and then it just runs up her skirt. And it
just runs back into her womb.
Just runs home.
The only thing that would have made this scene better, again, is if she was screaming and turned into a skeleton. No, just kidding. If she would have been like, we would have got a close-up look of her face, of her going like, "Oh," like do a crazy face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't do all the writhing on the ground and everything. Do a crazy face. Have her mug it.
Scream. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Mug it right towards the camera, and then hard cut back to the hospital where a big doctor is pulling off a tea kettle off the stove in the doctor break room.
Yes. Her going, oh, big crazy face, like when Walter Matthau gets hit in the nuts or something, in like a family comedy.
In Dennis the
and
Menace.
then but then again have big doctor and little doctor pulling a kettle off the stove.
That's how it happened.
Oh,
good night, everybody.
So perfect. Oh, so perfect. Straight Roger Rabbit shit. But yeah, so I mean, we're kidding about that part, but we are not kidding about the creature shrinking down and running back into her womb. Okay, so cut to the cops finding her in the house. And we got the two dingus, big doctor and little doctor. And apparently it's been a week since she's been there now. Also, the orderly with the fake stubble, was that Axel?
I don't think so, but maybe it was.
It looked like him a little bit, but he clearly had a fake stubble. It was a weird decision. He's doing a lot with his quick little line there. But these, police are coming up asking about him. So we have these two orderlies going to what is a very stereotypical like movie place where you keep crazy people, like the loony bin, right? Like literally they just have a bunch of people in like, like kind of hospital gowns, just like someone just going blah, 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 like just like living their finger in front of their face. There's literally a kid with a mullet just slapping himself in the forehead.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I'm like, something wacky's gonna.
Brian, it's the late 80s, early 90s. This kid, he was in school and somebody came up to him and said, if your hand is bigger than your face, you're gay. And they fucking smacked it into his face and it drove him crazy.
Drove him nuts. So that he's essentially doing that to himself over and over again. Then we have these two orderlies that go and find the girl. And I'm like, oh, what's this going to happen? Like, she's going to come out, talk to the cops. She's going to get like murdered. No, they take her into the stairwell to rape her. Jesus fucking Christ. This movie is so dark and horribly mean.
This is
like to the last moment. I was just like, Jesus Christ, guys.
Like, I get what they're doing because of the way it ends, but it's just like, that's not the way you end your movie ever. But
it's not the way Francis. This is not the way you end your movie. I was just like, this is the exact, like, this summarizes, like, this is why Francis shouldn't be allowed to make movies.
Yeah.
But he goes and this is what's happening. As the orderly that is actively raping her gets wrapped up with the umbilical cord around his neck and stabbed through the chest. Francis Terry, champion of women. Francis Terry, I would imagine he had to open his own dance studio because he was blacklisted from every other job. Imagine trying to get a job anywhere and showing him this movie that he made. Like,
it's not even just blacklisted from Hollywood. He was not allowed to rent cameras anymore. Absolutely
really,
not, dude.
Like, he went to apply for a Costco card 25 years later, and they were like, "No, sir,
no, sir."
They escort him out. But yeah, and then the guy gets the stabber through the guts, so he's killed. The credits immediately start rolling, but then we get some deleted scenes, which were clearly good practical effects that they had that were part of a completely unfilmable, stupid outdoor scene that they had, where there's like a guy making a wacky face with glasses. Like, you don't have any context. You don't know what's happening because it's literally just like somebody getting killed outdoors. I think somebody kind of gets like melted or something. I forget.
Yeah. So this, I believe what is supposed to be happening in this scene is somebody, we don't know who this person is because it just starts with them with the effect on their face. But I think somebody tried to get into the house through the slime or goop, and they got it on them, and then it melted them. But it just melts away. And this is also kind of Troma as well, because it's just a goofy guy and a kid watching this person melt into a skeleton, which is fucking crazy. And I love this kid's shirt because this kid is wearing a shirt that looks like a shitty Basquiat is what it is at the time. But he's wearing a shirt that says fuck this on it. It has like a knife and a skull on it. It fucking rules so hard.
Steve, I thought it said fuck die.
You know what? It might actually say fuck die on it.
I might be wrong. Oh, I'm looking. Okay, you have the screen here. Let me see.
Yeah, it might say fuck die. I thought it said fuck this, but it looks like actually the bottom of the E is in a fold of the shirt. So it might say fuck die.
Yeah. It's just so funny for there to be a kid wearing like what looks like a Little League baseball hat. It clearly has some giant pin on the front of it, like button that we can't see what it says, but it has a knife, a crude skull, and just says fuck die. Kelly's setting this picture as her desktop wallpaper. I would urge you to do that. But yeah, the guy standing beside him, something about the I don't know what is that pattern? Kind of an argyle type of, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like a
pattern and a bow tie.
Yeah,
it looks very. I mean, maybe it just looks like something Lloyd Kaufman will wear with the bow tie as well. But
yeah,
that's it. That's the movie. This movie is I would say moderately fun, worth watching, of not just questionable but terrible taste. Yeah, it's a bad movie made by bad people, and I would watch it. I would suggest you watch it.
I also suggest you watch it, especially, I mean, if you've listened to this episode, you've heard all the bad things that happen. So now you can steel yourself for when they do happen. But yes, just be aware it is full of just misogyny and, like terrible treatment of women. And it's a fucking awful moral tale of any sort. But the effects are kind of cool. So,
and it has a pretty cool monster.
Yeah.
You can get a similar effect by just Googling image of the Suckling monster, because that's it. But it is there are some lines. I mean, I'd watch it just for hey, you one of you whores want to give this a try? I'm just gonna start saying that around just like groups of friends. Get an appetizer at a restaurant. Any of you whores want to give this a try?
Just passing around food.
Yeah, you just at like shared plates. You're at a tapas place. Any of you whores want to try this?
I suggest this movie as a double feature with either Doom Asylum or Mutant Blast. They're both films made around the same time in New York. They fucking stink, and they have terrible morals, but they also have amazing monster effects. Like all three of those films, they all line up. Doom Asylum's a little more interesting. It does have Kristen Davis from Sex and the City. It's one of her. It's like her first acting role, and she spends most of it running around in a small, like high-hipped bathing suit inside of an asylum.
Nice.
It
this
makes
sounds
no sense.
Very familiar.
It also, it also stars Patty Mullen, the Frankenhooker.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I've seen this. I don't know if I have.
You'll like it.
Wait, is there a big shrink? Is this from, when is this from?
1988.
Why is Mutant Blast showing up on here as...
No, Mutant. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Mutant Blast. Mutant Hunt is the...
Mutant Hunt. I was going to...
Okay, okay, let's be more clear. Okay, Doom Asylum is the one with Patty Mullen and Kristen Davis. And that's from 1988.
Okay.
Mutant Hunt is from 1986, which stars the guy who's also the star of Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. And that one was produced by Charles Band. And then Mutant Blast is a separate film from 2018. It was made in Spain, but it was distributed by Troma. It's also a very good film. But it has nothing to do with the other two I mentioned. It's just fun.
Yeah, it has Rick Gianassi.
Yeah.
Of Sergeant Kabuki Man fame.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen either of them, to be honest with you. But yeah, I just was Mutant. The other Mutant Blast is from 2018.
Yeah.
Which seems weird that there's a movie from 2018 called Mutant Blast. That just sounds like a Corman era or 80s gloop glop type of thing. But
it's made in that style, and that's why Troma distributed it. But yeah, that movie fucking is a lot of fun. So yeah, check out Mutant Blast if you can. It's hard to find.
All right. Well, that was The Suckling, you guys. Remember, next week, showdown time. We don't know. Well, I can give you one of the movies we're going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about Frank Henenlotter's Brain Damage, which is so much fun. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. That's our Neo Monster showdown for next week. And keep a lookout. If you're looking for something to do, if you got some travel coming up or whatever, and you need some more episodes, go over to the Patreon and sign up. $5 a month. You get like a bajillion hours. And we're about to kick off our newest Patreon exclusive podcast series where we're going to kill God via movies. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Steve, anything else before we wrap this little mini-sode up?
Yes, I would like to end on a candy quote, which I think is a good way for all of us to think about 2026, considering it seems like it's going to be a sequel to 2025.
Yep.
The greatest candy quote of all is she's sitting on the couch and she says, "I hope we die in this fucking sewer."
She does say that. And guys, we're gonna. We're all gonna die in 2026. That being said, for the Halloween is Forever crew, I'm Brian.
And I'm Sewage Baby.
All right, see you later. Bye.
Bye.